All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is a talent that I'm working on developing, and so I thought what better way to work on it than trying to do it in front of a bunch of people. So, tonight I am going to, actually might need your help here. Do you know who the author is? I can't remember right now. She's looking it up. I'm going to recite a poem, and this is a poem that I first memorized part of in the 7th grade in Miss Harris's English class. And since that time, I've had a stanza and a half of it memorized. And so this Christmas, I thought I would take the opportunity to work on the rest of it. So this is The Cremation of Sam McGhee. And we don't know the author.
Robert W. Service.
There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge, when I cremated Sam McGhee. Now Sam McGhee's from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say, in his homely way, that he'd rather live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold, through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. When our eyes we closed, the lashes froze, till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGhee. On that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me, and Captain, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. He seemed so low, I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of moan, it's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet tain't being dead, it's the awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. Well, the pal's last deed is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail, and we started on at the streak of dawn, but gosh, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched in the sleigh and raved all day of his home in Tennessee, but before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGhee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried forward with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh and seemed to say, you can tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains. Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart, how I had cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring, howled their woes to the evening snow. Oh, how I loathed that thing. In the days to come, in the coming days, that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in, and I'd often sing to that hateful thing, and a target with a grin, till I arrived at the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice, it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought of it, and I looked at my icy chum. Then here said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying round, and I piled the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and stuffed in Sam McGhee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear it sizzle so. And the heavens scowled and the huskies howled and the winds began to blow. It was icy cold and hot sweat rolled down my cheek, and I didn't know why. The inky smoke and a greasy smoke and an inky cloak went streaking down in the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I rested with grisly fear, but the stars were out and danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was filled with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked. Then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and warm, in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile, you could see a mile. And he said, please close that door. See, it's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moor for gold. The Arctic trails have secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGhee.